David Mahan is joining me. He's from Columbus, Ohio. You travel the country talking to kids, teens, about important messages. What's your thing?
Basically, we're talking about building a legacy that they can be proud of. No matter where I'm at in the country, if it's foster care, if it's group home or detention center or school, I just talk about what you want. How many want to get married one day? How many want to be successful, be financially, sound? And what all that comes into is building a legacy they can be proud of, so that they...
You're talking about a personal legacy.
Yeah,
who they are.
Legacy. Right, regardless of where they've been and what they've been through, everybody wants to be successful. And so that's basically the foundation for my talks, whether it's abstinence or fatherhood or healthy choices. It's just what do you want? And then giving them a pathway to get there, as well as at the same time showing them some of the pathways that other people have taken that didn't work so well.
All right, so you tour the country. What's the number one thing you think parents need to be talking to their teens about?
I don't even know if it's about talking, but more about relationship. We need to be talking about culture. One of the problems is we allow them to do so many things when they're babies, when they're young, that by the time when it starts exhibiting the behaviors and the outcomes of those activities, when they get older, now we want to tell them not to do what I taught you to do. And so, one of the things I do in the talks is like, who's your daddy? And we'll talk about how many would have your daughter or your son locked in a room with Britney Spears and her mentoring program for an hour. And everybody's like, no, that woman's crazy, right? But then I'm like, well, how come we let them sit in our living rooms for 43.5 hours a week with Jay-Z and all these other people who are telling them all week long to do crazy stuff that we would not have them do, but yet we support those messages. So really that's my main message with parents, is creating an environment that leads to success that we want all our children to have. And the other thing is, in terms of speaking to them, is starting young. When I would get into, when I was working out and getting ready for sports, we would hit the weights, and I would get in there and I'd throw up, hey, give me them hundreds, I'd be throwing up hundreds or whatever. But the coach would come in and be like, no, come in here, you start with the 25s. We'll do 50 reps of 25, then we're going to do about 20 reps of 50, and then we go up that way. When they're young, you start young with character. Then you move up, to healthy choices. Then you move up to values. And by the time, and then maybe when they're teenagers, you do about 5 reps of sex in relationships, because you've already built the foundation, for healthy behavior.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with teens about things that really count.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.